Welcome all to yet another video, Dr. R.S. and you on the science of cosmetics and personal care products. You can type Ramesh Suria, right? Surya Narayanan in the YouTube. You can get all my videos. You can subscribe also to my channel, and this is my email ID. So today we are in part 87. In the part 86 we saw about face powder building blocks. We'll continue face powder in part 87, manufacturing of face powder. Right? To brush up fast, this we saw in part 86. So the function of the face powder is to impart smooth finish to the skin, masking minor imperfections, even out skin tones and reducing the shine of the face due to excess sebum secretion. Degree of opacity can vary from highly opaque and covering to transparent. This we discussed in part 86. We have two types of face powders, right? Loose face powder, compact or compressed face powder. So what are the building blocks? We saw this. We have for covering titanium dioxide, zinc oxide, kaolin, rice starch. Then adhesive for the powder to stay on the skin, zinc stearate, talc. Slip for the powder to spread, zinc stearate, magnesium stearate. Adsorbent to absorb the excess oil, colloidal kaolin, starch, bentonite. Frosted look, bismuth oxychloride. Coloring materials, iron oxide, ultramarine, organic lakes and pigments. Perfume and binders. Okay, we discussed this in detail in part 86. So till this we have in loose powder, and here binders, compact powders. In compact powders it is introduced. Right. So binders we discussed in part 86, right? We have dry binders, oil binders, water soluble binders, water repellent binders, emulsion binders. This is a revision. We saw this in part 86 also, just for continuation. Now we will see the gist of manufacturing process of the powders. Okay. The initial stages of manufacturing process are the same for both loose and pressed powders. But the later, that is the pressed powders, requires the addition of binder either prior to or with perfume. So the compressed powder has an additional ingredient, the binder, right? So most important in the manufacturing process of face powder is the color extension. Color extension is a process of homogeneous dispersion of individual color pigment in a white base to achieve uniform blend of colors in the final product. This is, you might be using some 4 colors in your powder, but the quantity of color required might be in grams, in a very low level. But when you add powder as such to the entire product, the mixing, it has to be uniform. It can't happen. So what happens? Initially, whatever color, individual colors you are going to add, it is extended in talc. It is extended in talc, and then the quantity equivalent of that extended powder, the quantity of color that is required, the extended powder which is equivalent to that quantity of the color is added to the final product, right? So the mixing in the final product, it will be uniform. It's a geometric mixing. So it's a process of, so you extend the color and make individual extended colors, and from that you formulate the final product. Dispersion is dependent upon the efficiency of mixing equipment and physical characteristics of the materials included in the powder. Okay. Homogeneous dispersion of the pigment is achieved by adequate extension of the pigments by passing the pigment, and talc is the extender, right, through the hammer mill. This breaks up the pigment agglomerates, which then stabilize by becoming coated onto talc particles. Other types of mixing equipments used are vertical vortex mixture, employs a fluidized vortex motion, reducing particle size by particle-particle collision. Then plow shear device. This equipment uses a high-speed chopper in addition to mixing paddles rotating on an axial shaft. The chopper is mainly responsible for the powder extension. So, color extension is a very, very important part of the face powder, right? Then powder preparation, it's very simple. The white base ingredients are first mixed in a stainless steel ribbon type of blender. The initial mixing time could be from 20 minutes to 3 hours depending upon the mixer type and the capacity and batch size. The extended colors, which we saw in the previous slide, the extended colors are added to the blended white base. The mixture is blended until a homogeneous mixture is achieved. With a loose face powder, the perfume is the final addition. Spraying the perfume into the blender assists even distribution. For pressed powders, the binder system will also be sprayed at this stage. Finally, what happens every batch, the color has to be checked with the standard color. There should not be batch to batch variation in the shades of the face powder. So finally, the color is checked against the standard and any corrections made should be done here. If mica based materials are used in the formulation, great care is taken to ensure that fragile platelet of the mica are not damaged by processing. Color correction is generally done by removing a small quantity of the bulk and mixing in the appropriate extended colors, which we saw in the previous slide. This is then added to the bulk. See, the extended colors are added to a small quantity of the powder, colors are matched, and the quantity that has to be added additionally to the bulk, from there it is calculated and then that quantity is added and then mixed, right? So the effect of pearlescent pigments on the final color of the powder should be taken into account during the color correction work, because the pearlescent pigments are added at the end, right? So that also we have to take care. So the color matching is very, very important. You can't have a face powder of a particular shade different batch to batch, right? The checked bulk is then emptied into a double polythene bag for storage, or generally to achieve a fine powder, it can be pulverized, screened to prior bagging. So the extenders are made, the color extensions, then the color extensions are mixed with the other ingredients. In case of compact powders, the binders are added, right? Then the colors are matched. Compared with the control, colors are matched, the pearlescent pigments are added, and then finally the powder is pulverized and screened at an appropriate sieve before bagging. the powder is ready for the next stage in the process, filling in case of loose face powder or pressing in case of a compact powder, right? It should be this is a simple process. So the extension of colors is the first stage, which is very, very important, and ensuring intimate mixing of the pigments to the white base is the next important criteria. Matching the color compared to control, a batch to batch, that is also a very, very important aspect. Finally, reducing the particle size further and mixing and sieving is the last step, right? This is a gentle method of preparation of the compact powders or face powders. So the process of pressing in case of compact powders, we will see a short video, very short video on how the compact powders are pressed. The video shows the pressing of the powder in the gaudet, right? The video shows the pressing of the powder in the gaudets. Once the powder is pressed in the gaudets are placed in the final container, compact container, which is a plastic container, right? And with a mirror. Let us see the video. Let us see how the compact powders are pressed. No? These are all the containers that's placed. It's called gaudets, G-O-D-E-T-S, gaudets. The loose powders are filled in the gaudets and then compressed. Right? What is the difference between the formula of a loose powder and a compressed powder? Compressed powder has additional binders in the formula. Those binders aid in compaction of the loose powder. Right? These are the gaudets automatically placed, and then the loose powders are filled. Gaudets, and then it's compressed. And this is the compressed powder. An example of a formula of a compressed face powder. See, methicone treated mica to improve feel and texture. Zinc stearate is the sole, it's a dry binder, no? With cocoa caprate as a wet binder is used here. So here, talc, mica, titanium dioxide, then iron oxide, these are all normal iron oxides, right? Iron oxide black, then zinc stearate, preservative methyl and propyl paraben, cocoa caprolate wet binder, and zinc stearate dry binder, a combination of wet and dry binder. So these colors, this titanium dioxide, iron oxide yellow, iron oxide red and iron oxide black extended in talc, right? A part of the talc before adding into the. So this is one formula, and there is another formula. This is the formula. Then there is another, so it has talc, zinc stearate, dry binder. So iron oxide surface treated with triethoxy caprylyl silane, various black, red, yellow, surface treated, surface modified, right? We saw the surface modification of colors in detail in the previous part, colors, no, in 20 and 50, I think. So part 20, part 50, we saw all the surface modifications, right? So in this specifically, surface modified colors are used. So when you use this surface modified colors, the compaction is much more better. the sensories are much more better. Here the kaolin is a binder, and ascorbyl palmitate it is an antioxidant. Then mica dimethicone coating, benzoic acid preservative, then isocetyl stearate wet binder, then butyl octyl salicylate wet binder, then dimethicone for emollient and improving slip. So all these ingredients are first blended, right? With extended colors, and all these things are blended, and this is sprayed over this. This is the binder, sprayed over this, and then milled, and then compressed. So mill with hammer mill twice through 0.027 inch, that is 0.7 millimeter herringbone screen, or until undispersed color remains. No, combine B ingredients by agitating and spraying, then again pass through sieve and compress. We saw the compression video, how the powder is compressed. This is what. So evaluation of face powder, flow properties are very, very important. Particle size and abrasiveness of the powder, moisture content and heavy metal. So we can go into the details. So then shade control, very, very important. Batch to batch, the color shade has to be controlled. Then dispersion of the color to test the homogeneity of distribution. Spread on a white paper and check with magnifying glasses, right? Payoff. Addition with a puff of a compact or a pressed powder should be tested on the skin. How it spreads on the skin. How it gets released from the puff to the skin. High pressure used while forming the cake. Payoff may be less. Low pressure make the cake soft and have the tendency to crumble and break. So an optimum pressure has to be while making the cake, the compact. The optimum pressure has to be given based on the formula. That has to be done trial and error before the formulation development. During formulation development stage, you have to ascertain what is the pressure required for the pigment and the formulation load you have taken and the binder you have used. And appropriate pressure should be given during compacting. So pressure testing, at the top, at the surface, what is the pressure and how well it is compacted. That is the pressure testing using penetrometer. So in the goddets, the powder is there. So the cone will be here. It will be released. So what depth the cone goes inside the powder. That's the pressure testing. Breakage. This is very, very important. Very, very important. Breakage. What happens? Goddets are dropped from a height of 8 to 10 inches and check for breakages and chipping of the compact. Chipping of the compact. So it has to be intact. It should not by dropping it from about 8 to 10 inches to the floor, it should not chip off, right? So if it chip off and comes out, it means the compaction is not sufficient, right? So the breakage test is a very important test, right? So this is what I wish to share with you on the face powders. Face powders we covered in 2 stages. First the building blocks, the second is the basic manufacturing principles of the face powders and some basic quality parameters, right? Thank you for listening to me in this video. Till we get connected in the next video. Be happy, be safe, be smiling. Bye to you all. Thank you.